Adolf Hitler's name is synonymous with hatred and genocide. He remains one of history's most infamous figures, forever linked to the horrors of the Holocaust. The Holocaust was the systematic, state-sponsored persecution and murder of 6 million Jews by the Nazi regime and its collaborators. Hitler's intense and irrational hatred for the Jewish people fueled this genocide. Understanding the origins of Hitler's anti-Semitism is essential for comprehending the Holocaust. It is crucial to delve into the historical context that allowed such hatred to flourish. We must examine the complex interplay of factors that led to this unprecedented crime against humanity. Only by understanding the past can we hope to prevent such atrocities from happening again. The Holocaust stands as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked hatred and the importance of tolerance and understanding. Anti-Semitism, the prejudice and discrimination against Jews, did not begin with Hitler. It has plagued Europe for centuries, manifesting in various forms. Religious anti-Semitism has deep roots. Jews were often blamed for the death of Jesus. This led to centuries of persecution and violence. Economic anti-Semitism also played a significant role. Jews were often stereotyped as greedy moneylenders. This stereotype fueled resentment and discrimination, particularly during times of economic hardship. Jews were often used as scapegoats for societal problems. Nationalist anti-Semitism emerged in the 19th century. As European nations sought to define their identities, Jews were increasingly seen as outsiders. They were accused of being disloyal and a threat to national unity. To understand Hitler's virulent anti-Semitism, we must examine his formative years. Hitler's time in Vienna, Austria, proved to be particularly influential. Vienna at the turn of the 20th century was a hotbed of anti-Semitism. Hitler was exposed to these ideas, which likely resonated with his own prejudices. He was a struggling artist, prone to blaming others for his failures. The experience of World War I further hardened Hitler's views. He served in the German army and was devastated by Germany's defeat. Like many nationalists, he clung to the stab-in-the-back myth. This myth falsely blamed Jews and other internal enemies for Germany's downfall. This fueled his resentment and solidified his anti-Semitic convictions. Hitler's time in Vienna and his wartime experiences laid the foundation for his later ideology. His experiences fostered a deep-seated hatred of Jews, which he would tragically unleash upon the world. In 1925, while imprisoned for his role in the failed beer hall putsch, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, My Struggle. This rambling, hate-filled book outlined his political ideology and his vision for Germany. Mein Kampf was a blueprint for genocide, laying bare Hitler's deep-seated hatred and his plans for the Jewish people. In Mein Kampf, Hitler articulated his belief in a Jewish conspiracy to control the world. He portrayed Jews as a parasitic race, responsible for Germany's problems and a threat to Aryan purity. He advocated for their removal from German society, ultimately calling for their extermination. Mein Kampf became the Bible of the Nazi Party. It provided the ideological framework for the Holocaust, justifying the systematic persecution and murder of millions. This book serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked hatred and the importance of confronting extremism. Section 5. The Nazi rise to power, exploiting prejudice. The Nazi Party, fueled by Hitler's hateful rhetoric, exploited existing anti-Semitism to gain power in Germany. The Nazis skillfully used propaganda to spread their message of hate. They blamed Jews for Germany's economic woes, portraying them as a threat to the nation's well-being. The Nazis also skillfully played on people's fears and insecurities. They promised to restore Germany to its former glory, appealing to national pride and resentment over the Treaty of Versailles. The Nazis' rise to power was swift and terrifying. In 1933, Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. The Nazi Party quickly consolidated its power, dismantling democratic institutions and establishing a totalitarian state. This marked the beginning of a dark chapter in human history. Section 6, From Persecution to Extermination, the Nazis' Final Solution. Once in power, the Nazis moved quickly to implement their anti-Semitic agenda. They enacted a series of discriminatory laws, stripping Jews of their citizenship and basic rights. The Nuremberg laws of 1935 were particularly egregious, defining Jews based on their ancestry and prohibiting marriage or sexual relations between Jews and non-Jews. Violence against Jews escalated. On Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass in 1938, Nazi mobs vandalized Jewish businesses, synagogues and homes throughout Germany and Austria. This night of terror marked a turning point, signaling the regime's willingness to use violence against its Jewish citizens. The Holocaust, the systematic genocide of European Jews, began in earnest during World War II. Jews were forced into ghettos, segregated urban areas designed to isolate and control them. Millions were deported to concentration camps where they were subjected to forced labor, starvation, and mass murder. Section 7, Remembering the Victims, the Human Cost of Hate. The Holocaust was a crime of unimaginable cruelty. Millions of innocent people were murdered simply for being Jewish. Men, women and children were shot, gassed and worked to death in a systematic campaign of extermination. The human cost of this genocide is immeasurable. The stories of those who perished in the Holocaust must never be forgotten. We must remember their names, their faces, and their stories. We must honor their memory by fighting against all forms of hatred and intolerance. The Holocaust stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of civilization and the dangers of unchecked hatred. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of fighting for justice and equality. Section 8. The importance of education, preventing future atrocities. The Holocaust was a watershed moment in human history. It forced the world to confront the depths of human depravity and the consequences of unchecked hatred. In the aftermath of the Holocaust, the international community pledged never again. Education is essential to preventing future atrocities. We must teach future generations about the dangers of anti-Semitism, racism, and all forms of prejudice. We must empower them to challenge hatred and discrimination wherever they see it. By remembering the past, we can work towards a more just and compassionate future. We must never forget the victims of the Holocaust, and we must never stop fighting for a world where such atrocities are unthinkable. Section 9. Conclusion. Never again. The Holocaust stands as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked hatred and the importance of tolerance and understanding. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of fighting for justice and equality. We must never forget the victims of the Holocaust, and we must never stop fighting for a world where such atrocities are unthinkable. By remembering the past, we can work towards a more just and compassionate future where the phrase "never again" is not just a slogan but a promise kept.